All right. Now that we've talked about understanding our audience, I want to talk about the ROI on SEO, the return on investment on SEO, because I think that's extremely important when you're getting into this sort of thing. Um, the general thing with SEO, the general consensus across the board with SEO is that it offers a really high rate of return compared to other marketing channels. And that's mainly because you'll be targeting people who are already interested in your services. Remember, SEO works because people go to Google to search for the services that they need in their area, right? And when they search for what they need in their area, your website, when done correctly, has the potential to show up here on the first page for those given services in that area, which brings that business directly to you. And that, while using your website, that user can now decide whether or not they want to request a quote, they want to give you a call, or if they want to find your competitor to see if they have something better to offer on their web experience, right? And so that's the general gist, right? And so when things like that are available, we know immediately that there's generally going to be an extremely high rate of return on something like this, especially if the cost of doing so is not as exorbitant as paying for ads. Now, if you have the budget to pay for ads, go ahead, by all means, feel free. But not every business does. And so they want to be very meticulous about how they use their marketing dollars and how they create customers over the long term. And SEO ends up being one of those highly favored options for all those things that I mentioned before, right? Okay, so we're talking about ROI, we're talking about numbers, right? So I want to be very specific in the examples that I use because not all businesses are the same, of course. Not all business models are the same, and not everyone makes the same amount of revenue per customer because every industry is different. So I am going to continue using this lawn care example here because I think this is a great example. And if you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're an esthetician, if you're any kind of service-based business, this still applies to you. However, you'll just have to, do the numbers for. You'll have to do the numbers again for what I'm presenting, right? So let's just talk about the ROI of SEO. So the first thing we want to understand is what exactly are you paying for? What is the investment that you'll be making into SEO to achieve these sorts of results? And I want to kind of talk about that first. So I'm just going to hop over to this document where I took some quick notes about. I'm just going to save that for later. Where I took some quick notes on what you'll generally be investing in when you get into SEO. So you'll be investing in your website, right? You'll be investing in creating new pages on your website. You'll be invested in ensuring that your website loads quickly. You'll be investing in ensuring that your website looks good, has nice imagery, and overall is a professional website, at least to the standard that someone would appreciate it and want to do business with you, right? So that's going to be your first investment. Now, everyone's going to be starting off in a different place, right? And I'll talk about website stuff later in the second section of this course. But uh, I just want you to know that your website is going to be the biggest and most important cost because this is how everything works, right? This is where we make our money, so we want to make sure we're doing a really good job here. So you're going to be investing in your website, right? And the second thing you're going to be investing in is content, copywriting, writers, writing. You're going to be investing in writing, and the reason why is because, as you can see here, it works off of words. This is how Google ranks your website. They read the words on your website, and that helps them understand what the topic is of this website, and then based on that topical information, they rank your site based on those things accordingly. For this specific page on the website, it's well known to service lawn care in Sandy Springs. So whenever someone searches for that on Google, they're going to show this site, or I should say, this page, in the top results, like we saw before. Okay, so you're going to be investing into content, and the reason why content is important again is not just because that's how websites know that's how Google knows what your website is about, but also that's how users understand your business. You want to be persuasive, you want to be smooth, you want to be inviting, and you want to use the right type of content when it comes as far you want to use the right type of content to make sure you're achieving that result to drive revenue. And content is not just words. Again, it's imagery, it's videos, it's any kind of multimedia that you'll be using to, again, create a great landing page on your website and influence customers to do business with you. Okay. And the third thing is links. Links are really just a fancy way of helping Google understand that your website is credible. links it's really just a vote of confidence from other authoritative websites like Yelp or Google Maps that essentially point back to your main website that lets Google know, hey, these guys are good. This is my vote of confidence. I'm going to send this link from my website over to the main website. And that's pretty much what you invest in over the long term. And there's several ways of doing that, especially from a local business's perspective. And the last thing you're going to be paying for is expertise. Now, this is not an outright cost, but you want to pay for experts, right? There's going to be some people that are going to try to sell you on essentially, SEO, and you want to make sure that they're the right people to do business with. So you want to ensure that you're investing in not just website content and links, but you're also investing in expertise. Now, if you're not investing in expertise, your investment instead will be time. Because if you're not working with experts like myself, then you're willing to put in the time to see if things are going to work for you on your own. And you'll just have to pay that cost down the line. Eventually, you'll get there. With the right help and with the right strategies, and that's the main reason why I'm making this course, right? So, if you want to try this out yourself, I'm going to be giving you strategies that you can employ on your own to see if you can start driving traffic organically to generate leads for your business. But if not, I would invite you to work with an expert, either on the basis as a consultant, just someone to hold your hand and tell you everything that you need to do and whether or not you're doing things right and what direction you need to be going in. Or you want to be paying in terms of an agency where they're doing the work for you, and all you have to do is sit back, get the monthly reporting statements, and watch your traffic start to grow, right? And so those are really the two main things. And of course, hiring a consultant is going to be more affordable than hiring an agency. Agencies typically cost at least, especially for a small business, they're going to cost around $2,000 per month for them to manage your SEO, which is what I often do for small businesses if they don't have the time to invest. The other thing that I also offer to small businesses is just consultancy. And again, this will be more around probably like $500 per session, where I work with you on developing a strategy, showing you exactly how it's done, looking at your website and working specifically with you and your website on what needs to be done in order for you to get that kind of visibility. Now, again, every website's different, so it's not just universal across the board. However, once I get my hands on your website, I can detail exactly what that particular domain is going to need to do in order for it to rank for these particular services in this particular area. And I'm very meticulous about that too. So don't feel like you're taking the lesser option by hiring a consultant. If you can't afford an agency right now, consultancy is still a great idea, mainly because you don't have to go through all the guesswork. It's going to cut down on all that time that you're going to spend trying to do this on your own, looking at different YouTube videos, reading different articles, and then trying to navigate the whole thing on your own. It's going to be a lot more convenient for you if you did take this route. So I do highly recommend hiring an expert. However, I created this course to show you exactly how you can do it on your own, and to also show you that I'm an expert myself in this field, and that if you need help, then I'm here to help you do that. So those are going to be your four main SEO investments, right? Then out of that investment, uh, you know, everything that we're doing is to make you more money. That's the amazing effect of all of this. I'm not spending time just trying to make a cute website. That way you can go and show your friends, how cool this website is now. I'm specifically working on strategies that are going to make you more money as soon as possible. And I'll talk about how long SEO takes and what you can expect and things of that nature in the next section of this video. But you're going to want to make sure that you're spending all of your SEO efforts in generating revenue, and that's exactly what I specialize in. The beautiful thing about SEO is once you do something one time, it'll start to compound. It'll start to create compound interest, right? And I'll show you exactly what I mean. And so, essentially, let's say if I was this lawn care website, right? And I created this particular page for Sandy Springs. This is just one page. I'm sure they have several pages just like this, which I'll go into in a second. And they also have several services that could be made for each particular area, right? There's a lot of money in this page here. There's a lot of money in this website. And so let's just take this one page, for example. Let's say I created this page in January, right? And then by March, this page was ranking for lawn care in Sandy Springs, right on the first page. Now, let's assume that this page was making you X amount of dollars per month, right? Just for specifics, let me just go to a particular service and then we'll talk about it from there. Mowing and maintenance packages. Okay, so let's go to lawn mowing, right? Um, okay, so let's go to lawn mowing. $450 per month is the cost of one package, right? That's one $450 per month. That's their package for lawn care services, right? For full service maintenance. To keep your lawn maintained, they have a 48-week full service maintenance program for you. So let's say, um, so we know that for every one person that signs up for this maintenance package, they're making at least $450 a month from this person, right? Now, of course, I can't assume the lifetime value of the customer because I don't know how long these types of customers typically stay. But I'm just going to use $450 as our example. That way, we have a bona fide number to stick to, right? So let's say by March, again, I posted this in May. I published this in January. It's ranking on the first page by March. Let's assume that they're getting 5 customers every single month, specifically from somebody typing in lawn care in Sandy Springs, right? Now again, that's just an assumption, and honestly, I think that number's on the low end. But I want to kind of get your mind wrapped around this whole compound ROI interest thing, right? So I'm going to pull up a calculator. Let's see if I can find my calculator in here. I cannot. So, oops. Let me exit out of that. Let me pull this calculator up, and I just want to pen it here for next time. Keep in doc. Okay, so let's say they got 5 customers every single month from this page, right? Let's just go with the month of March. In March, they got a total of 5 customers that are paying at least $450 per month, right? So in March, they gross from this one page alone, they gross $2,250. That's great, right? Then let's go into April, May, June, July. Every single month, they're compounding 2,250 dollars from this one page, right? And this is continuing to compound. So let's say 6 months later, they're doing, again, we're assuming that they're getting the same amount of customers every month, which if you're a business owner, you know that that's not exactly the case. Numbers go up, numbers go down, but I'm using 5 as an example just to kind of wrap your head around what the ROI potential here. Let's say 6 months later, they're now grossing $13,500 per month, simply because they created this one page in January that now 6 months later is grossing them $13,000 per month and counting, because we're not even counting the new customers that they'll potentially add on, right? And this is minimum because packages start at $450. We've already established that. So we know that there's a much higher likelihood that they're grossing a lot more than this per month just from this one web page. From this single Sandy Springs page, they're grossing 5 figures per month, right? And this is powerful because this is just one service in one area, right? Now we know we can look at this business, Bloom and Gardens, and we know that they have several services available, from landscape design, mulch installation, seasonal color, irrigation, all of these different types of lawn care services. And they're grossing, for example, $13,000 by the end of 6 months per month just from this one page for Sandy Springs, right? Now they have all these services multiplied by each area that they serve. So now you can imagine, it's easy to assume that this landscape company could be grossing at least $100,000 per month, simply because of the amount of areas that they're targeting and the amount of services that they're offering for each location, right? And so now you can start to wrap your head around the immaculate potential of SEO, because if you just do the simple job of investing in your website one time where you're developing all of your services pages, you're developing all of your location pages, targeting for each service in that location. Now you have the opportunity to drive even more interested people to your website in order to convert them into customers. Because again, search works based on people looking for you. You're not going out looking for them. They're already coming in as an interested party. And the more you increase your visibility for various services in various locations, it leaves you open to creating a lot of revenue for your business. And again, this is all organic. So we're not paying any paid advertising systems. We're not paying for visibility or paying for clicks. We're simply investing in our website to get the desired the desired outcomes that we want over the long term. And so there's no money being paid out to Google by any means whatsoever. You're just investing in your business, investing in your website in order to achieve these outcomes. And that's the main reason why I love SEO, honestly, because doing something as simple as this is changing businesses and families across the world, not even just in the country, across the world. Search engine optimization has the ability to do that for you as well, especially if you're a service-based business in a local area. And so now, let's say we'll go back to an example really quickly, and I'll put it into this section. So let's assume by the end of 6 months, they're grossing, 13,500 per month, right? And now your SEO investment let's assume an agency is doing this for them, right? Because if you're grossing 13.5 a month, you might want to spend more time on the business and let the experts do what they do best, which is driving more leads for you. And this is what I tell the clients that I work with today. Let me focus on these things that are going to make you more money, and you focus on the processes and the outward result. That way, your customers leave reviews, they give you referrals, and they keep adding to the overall pipeline that is lead generation, right? So let's say they're paying an SEO agency $3,000 a month to achieve these results. Now, this is a fixed rate. This never changes, but the revenue created from doing SEO for all of these services and all these different areas continue to increase, right? So by the end of year one, this company could easily be making over $50,000 per month, um, and that's because SEO is a compound interest game. The more services the more service pages that I create in the different areas that you want to target or do business in, the more money that comes in your pocket. So in January, I may have just done the Sandy Springs page, but in February, I may have done landscape design or irrigation or trimming. And by the end of, again, 6 months, you have about 20 to 50 pages that are all making money for you every single month, simply because people are searching for those services in that particular area. You see what's going on here, right? This is the magic of SEO. And so I wanted to enlighten that part of SEO, because it often gets confusing when we're talking about what you're investing in. It's nothing like paid advertising where you're paying for a click. You're paying for things to get done on your website. That way you can have the visibility here on the first page that gets someone to click, that gets someone to call, request a consultation or a quote, and that keeps making you more money and keeps bringing in high quality leads. So that's the ROI of SEO. It's absolutely phenomenal. And as I mentioned before, every industry will differ. However, if someone's searching for your service in a particular area, then you know for sure that SEO is going to likely be a good strategy for you. Um, so yeah, that's the ROI of SEO. In the next section, I'm going to be talking about how long it takes to see results in SEO, because that's also a big question that I typically get. But to understand the ROI of SEO is to understand that it is a compound interest game. And the more you can create pages that are going to make you money, the more you will continue to earn over the long term. Meanwhile, your investment stays at a fixed rate, especially if you're paying an agency or a consultant. However, your income should expect to continue to grow as you start to develop more pages and more service pages, and in those different locations. Okay. So I'll see you in the next section.